Hello, I'm back again. I decided to take another run at this chocolate treat holder and see if I can get it to go sideways for landscape for you guys. So I'm just checking to make sure you can see. Oh, yeah, I don't know what the shadow is at the bottom. And I'm going to quickly go to my computer and pull up the video to see if it's working properly. And post. Then let's see what's going on here. Okay, that's better. That's working now. Okay, and my apologies for the previous one. Apparently it didn't work very well. So I'm going to redo it, and then I'm going to delete the previous one. So I start off with a 4x4 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to make this cute little treat holder today. I recently did a bunch of Valentine treat holders with our grandchildren for them to take to school, and this is what they wanted to make. So it uses the Retired Falling Petals embossing folder, but I'm going to use the Scattered Sequins ones today, which you can find in the Occasions catalog, Stampin' Up! Occasion catalog on page 13 down here in the corner. It's a Scattered Sequins dynamic embossing folder. And it's dynamic because it's thick. It's extra thick, so you don't need to use the bottom cutting plate. So to use this, it's the Big Shot platform, the new one. If you have the old one with the flaps, then you need both flaps open. Then your cardstock goes in the embossing folder. Your embossing folder goes right on top of the platform. There's no cutting mat between them. And then you put one cutting mat on the top. Oops, then I lost my cardstock. Things are not going well, but that's okay. All right, so there we are. And I've got my Big Shot off the table because if I use it on the table when I'm doing a live video, I'd make you guys all seasick. So I'm just quickly running it through the Big Shot. And there we have Scattered Sequins embossing folder. And now we're going to use the envelope punch board to create the shape of it. So there's the shape. And the reason I emboss first and then use the punch board is because once you emboss, then the score lines don't show as good. So you line up the edge of the cardstock with the 2-inch mark, punch it, and follow the score line down. Then you turn it to the next side, line it up with the 2-inch or the Peter Pointer here, and the score line starts right in the corner. Let's see if I can tip it up a bit so you can have a look. So there's the hole, and the score line starts right there. And then you do that on the other two sides as well. Lining it up with the pointer. Lining the score line up with the pointer. There we go. So now it's all punched. The scoring tool conveniently fits in the side so I don't lose it, which I do a lot. Oh, thanks, Barb. Barb just told me that it's better sideways. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so here's the finished piece of cardstock, and we're just going to fold and burnish on all 4 score lines. And I'm not using the bone folder on this because they don't lie flat. There's quite a bit of height depending on what kind of chocolate you use, so you don't have to have your score lines quite as crisp as normal. So you can use a Ghirardelli chocolate in here. They work really well. I brought out 2 nuggets to see if they would work too. Yep, they'll fit in there. I'm going to use this cute chocolate heart that I found at the local Dollarama store. That's what the grandkids wanted to use in theirs, so I have a leftover and that's what I'm using. So I just put it in the center, fold over the two side flaps, hold it with my finger while I fold up the bottom one, and kind of line it up. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter because we're covering it anyways. And you can use a glue dot, you can use Tombow glue, you could use tear and tape to do this. I prefer the glue gun because it's faster and I know it's not going to fall apart. So just fold that over and then be careful because that'll be hot coming through there. And I didn't let the grandchildren do this part. This was Grandma's job. So there we have it. It's all stuck together. Let's put it to the side. Now we're going to use one of the Sweet and Sassy Framelits dies to cut out the heart. And this is how I store my dies. They come on a piece of cardstock, all glued down, but I prefer to have them on magnetic sheets. So I go to the local dollar store and I buy the magnetic sheets, and they're about this big, and then I cut off the excess and put it on this side because this one is quite wide. Then I take some of our tear and tape and put it in behind the words so that they have a white frame, because when this goes in, it's black on black and doesn't work very well. And then if this stamp set of dies matches a stamp set, then I put what stamp set it matches, and I have started putting how many dies are in here as well, because I've lost a few. You can always find out how many dies. If you look at this inside, this is the piece that Stampin' Up! Puts inside. Right here down at the bottom it says that there's 15 dies in there. But that means I'd have to go searching and take stuff out, and yeah, I don't do that because I'm too lazy. Okay, so we're going to use the third largest of the, there's two different shapes. There's a stylized heart and just a plain heart, and I'm using the stylized one today. So by the number 3, I count them starting with the littlest one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and number 7. We're going to use number 2, and I just have to do a quick change on my Big Shot. So I have the magnetic platform, my cutting plate, which has seen better days but still workable, and my die, and then a top cutting plate, and just make sure everything lines up. And I'm going to run it through the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. So there's the piece, there's the die, and there's the heart. So now I'm going to put the die away. So I lost an itty bitty teeny weeny die from the sliding door framelits the other day, and hubby and I searched for a half an hour in my craft room till I found it attached to the back of a piece of real red cardstock. Yep, that's what happens all the time. Okay, so I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of that, and Stampin' Up! Now sells two different kinds of dimensionals. We have the big ones and mini ones, and I love these. I love the mini ones because I no longer have to spend time cutting these up. I just have to whip them. So in a package you get 300 of these, plus you can use the edges. And in the package of this you get 720, and then you get all of this to use around the outside as well. So there's lots of foam pieces in there. So I'm going to make sure I get the right side of the die. So the front side has a nice rounded edge. The back side, if you feel it, you can feel a little bit of a ledge there. And I'm going to put my just one single big dimensional right in the middle on the back. And then we'll put it on the front of our little treat holder, like that. So there's what the treat holder looks like on the side. And on the back. This is 2 by 2 at the back, so if you wanted to decorate that, it would be really easy to do. Alright, so we'll just put that to the side and we'll do the sentiment now. The boys didn't put a sentiment on it because they just wanted a heart, and then their names went on the back. And I'm not using Happy Valentine's because I made these as thank yous to go in with a few orders this month. So I'm using thanks so much. So this is a straight stamp, and I want to curve it so that it matches my Duet banner punch. So to do that, put your block on your punch, take a stamp, start it at one side and kind of bend it, and then I do a trial run to see if it fits inside the curve, and it does. So now we'll get out the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. This is my go-to black ink. I like it for just general everyday stamping. And then when I have my stamp on my cardstock, I run my finger back and forth, and it stops the stamp from rocking like this. So if you happen to get ink around the outside, by putting it down and running your finger on it, you don't transfer that ghosting to your project. Okay, now we're going to use the Duet banner punch to punch it out. So I'm turning the punch over, slide my cardstock in, line it up on the bottom one, and punch it out. So there we go. Bring my project back in. And now we're going to attach the sentiment to the heart. And I'm going to pop a couple of mini dimensionals on there. Let's take the liners off. And it goes on over top of the heart, just like that. And there we are, just that easy. Isn't it cute? You could use this as a wedding favor and put the bride and groom's name in there. You could use it for Valentine's. You could use it for your sweetie, pop it in his lunch and say, I love you. Or pop it in her lunch. Give it to your grandchildren for Valentine's and say, be mine. There we go. I hope this video has helped you create something crafty in your craft room, and I'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.